out from within us. Heavy metal is that way for us. And then, you're just going through life, and then all of a sudden you hear it, and you're like, oh, now life makes sense.
Heavy metal was inspired by it, I suppose, the countercultural embrace of the seemingly conservative values of Christianity.
The main reason for wars, from the old days today, it's about religion. Some Christian slaughter Muslims, Muslims slaughter Jews, Jews slaughter. It's a circle, so it's stupid. And I try, we have 8 albums, and we are talking about that all the time. Stop believing this stupid faith and just keep with good life.
Lyrically, through a lot of heavy metal, there's a lot of different avenues that like to explore that dark arts kind of philosophy. And if it wasn't for that stuff, I would have never been exploring it myself personally.
Let's first start with, if you have light, you have to have darkness. If you have white, you have to have black, and then there's a billion shades in between. If you have Christian metal, you certainly can have satanic metal, black metal, etc., etc.
It's an awful lot of it is performative, dramatic. An awful lot of it is just a countercultural artistic movement that was sort of crystallized in the sort of initial aesthetic impulse of heavy metal. And then, of course, there's something very real as well, where people are drawn to identification with the sort of rebellious spirit, the Luciferian spirit, whatever you want to call that, the Loki-like playfulness of having sympathy for the devil. And I suppose that's just part and parcel of the tradition of heavy music, to have a kind of sympathetic view of the devil.
As a Christian, I believe that God is the creator of music. He's the architect of it. He's the, an A on a pipe organ is A, C sharp, and E. An A on a distorted guitar is A, C sharp, and E. When Slayer plays an A chord, it's A, C sharp, and E. When the Gaithers play an A chord, it's A, C sharp, and E. So, the creative music, we use music for whatever purpose we decide to use it for. Are we using it to glorify God? Are we using it to glorify self? Or are we using it to glorify Satan? Are we using it to push whatever worldview or agenda that we have? We're still using a gift that comes from God.
I've signed people's stuff and they're like, this is my religion, man. And I'm like, okay. So I've never really thought about it, right? But when you think about, when I think about my past and my careers and what I've done with it, and I've met these individuals that say that, I do believe that some people hold it as their religion, man.
It's a ritual when you go to a show. I believe it's a ritual when you listen to music, when you do it properly.
I noticed when I went to gigs, someone else's shows, or I listened to music, the genre that had the most ritualistic connection to its contributing members was metal music.
Especially for someone who maybe does not have a religion that they align with. This is a great place for community.
A lot of times we do treat it as religion. I think that, for example, even the regards that we would have for our idols, if you will, for example, if I was in the same room as, let's say, I don't know, Rob Halford or James Hetfield or Tony Iommi, I would be as if I'm in the same room with God. That's the right. Obviously I try and act cool on the outside, but on the inside, those are the feelings I would be experiencing.
And you go to see Metallica or Slayer or whoever you're really, really into, and you are surrounded by like-minded people, all focused on this one goal of being absorbed in the movement. That in itself is a very, very pseudo-religious element. In fact, it's not even pseudo. It is a religious element.
If it is indeed a religion, who is our figurehead then? Who's the godhead or the deity?